popping in for the workshop, I'm just going to introduce this practice, and I appreciate you joining us for this live experience. It's going to be on Zoom and YouTube. You can find the link on Facebook on my homepage. If you need a last minute reminder of where to find us, look for us on the YouTube Live as well as the Zoom link. And we're going to do a review of everything we've been covering today in the training. These are the AYRx yoga swings. They're soft and stretchy. They're very comfortable. Everything expands and stretches out. So there's handholds and leg loops for you to enjoy. I mean, every time I do that, I do a little bit faster. But no, this is super high quality cotton lycra blend using the highest thread count Egyptian cotton I could find. So it's so amazing on the skin. And I've been talking today about how the swing is a beautiful interface between the fascia, the living matrix of the body, and the connection between our skin and our muscles. So we want to work the body not only through the physical body, but we also can interface with the energetic body and the energetic alignment with the swing. And that's kind of my unique and special blending that I'm doing for this series. We're here all weekend. I hope that you can make it. And don't worry if you can only pop in for a little bit of time, since this is a whole series. It's all going to be recorded and available for replay. So that way you have unlimited access and the possibility of reviewing and going back and practicing as much as you want with this video series. So thank you so much for joining us. So happy to be here with you. So we're going to work with the swing today and cover the two major hubs of the body. We've been doing a lot of neck and shoulders, and then we're also going to go over and balance with the hips and the lower back. So these are the two places where I have found that there is obviously the intersection of the nervous system moving down the arms and into the legs. So we work a lot with the spine and the superhighway, the pillar of energy, and we want to keep the spine nice and supple and limber and happy. And most of the compression and stress that happens in the body blocks the natural flow of energy in the pathways. So we are focusing on using the swing to create space, to create this dynamic tension where we can lift up through the upper body and take pressure off of the joints and the vertebrae. And we're also able to ground down and traction the spine out of the pelvis to create space for the vertebrae. Just even thinking about it feels so good in my body to gain that space. So we're going to start by standing in the center of the mat, and we're going to utilize not the swing yet, just the handholds. So we're working a lot with the different pieces of equipment so you can get used to the different ways that we can hang. And we will be going upside down tomorrow. Today we're going to use mostly our upright positions. We might end with a headstand because that's always a nice way to end our practice, but it's very supportive. Anybody can do it. I made this series for all levels. All are welcome, all ages, all sizes, wherever you are in your practice, whether you're doing this for your personal growth and to take your swing practice to the next level, which is one of my favorite expressions, is how can we take this experience to the next level for you? Or if you're doing it to get certified and you want to become a teacher of this particular swing practice, then you can actually do this as part of your certification and training. So wherever you're at, we have something for you. And so if you are able to reach up and grab for the handholds, you can always just keep your elbows bent if it doesn't feel good to hang completely, and then utilize your legs to find your pillar here. So even when we're here, we can do a little bit of upper body strength. If the swing is too high, you can just bring it down one so that you can reach the handholds. You can just do some very gentle lifts. I'm coming up onto my toes, and as I come up onto my toes, I'm pulling down and strengthening my arms, doing some curls, some bicep curls, really gentle. So you can do this with your feet on the ground, you can do this with your feet off the ground, you can make it as easy or as hard as you want. We're going to do about an hour, hour and a half of practices, and then we're going to end with a really sweet long Shavasana meditation experience. So please do stick with it. And if at any time you feel like you need a break, I'm just going to show you how to jump into cocoon now. We're going to come back to our handholds. So at the end, we'll drop into meditation, but just for now, so you can see how you can take a break, everything spreads out. You can get in. If we're hanging by our underarms or by our hips or another part of the body for too long and your body just wants a rest, just lean back. You can actually kick your legs up in here, or you can just let them dangle. You can get fully in the swing and just watch for a sequence. If it's something that you don't necessarily want to do right now, you can always go back and rewind it and do it later. But feel free to take care of yourself. Drink lots of water and take as many breaks as you need to get through this. And then as you practice each day, I encourage you to do this every single day for at least 5 minutes. You'll get better and better at hanging and getting used to the fabric. So even if you've been practicing for a long time, I'm giving the same cues so you know how to work with your clients and with your students, where you encourage them to enjoy the practice and to feel good. If it doesn't feel good, then pause, change it up. There's lots of variations we can do. All right, so let's come on back to stand for those that are ready, and find your handholds. So I usually like to use a wrist wrap. So it means I can put my hand through and grab, and that way I'm holding on with my fingers, but I have it wrapped around my wrist and I'm tractioning the wrist joint. And for those that wind up having some wrist issues, this is such a great stretch for carpal tunnel and working on the computer and all that. So take a moment to just roll around. We're going to do the same poses over and over again just to get really comfortable with them. I just have my feet in the center of the mat and I'm swaying my hips from side to side. You can also step it out into a sumo squat and support your weight a little bit more so that there's not so much weight in your arms and hands. But if you want maximum stretch, you start to bend your knees and pick up your feet and gently rock from side to side. Just let that feel good. Engage your arms and shoulders a little bit and make sure that your hips can stay heavy and relaxed while your shoulders are engaged. And just play for a moment, doing some spins and twists. This is how I start my day every single day as I get in the swing, and I do this pose called the full body hang, and I just let my body roll around and get some spins and twists. Okay, so from there we're going to take frequent breaks to come back up. Maybe 30 seconds, every 30 seconds, pause, even if your arms aren't tired or your hands can handle it. Trust me, if you come out for a second, then you can stay longer and do multiple rounds. If you wait until your hands are totally cooked, then you're not going to be able to recover and come back in. So frequent breaks, listening to the body, that's the somatics part that we're blending in, is to bring that awareness of what does the body need, how is it feeling, how can I best take care of my body, and see it as an incredible communication device. So our bodies are like radios, and they're transmitting signals, and we want to listen to those signals. If there's pain anywhere, if there's discomfort anywhere, shift and make an adjustment. So we can come back to center and keep your feet on the ground and sway from side to side, or do this with floating and bent knees and feet off the ground, whichever one feels good. And then I want you to just start to rock and pick up the knee. We're going to add a little bit more play today for those that have taken the training with me. We've already done this once. I like to have the review in the afternoon, but I also like to add in a little bit more. So how can we do something different each time? How can we learn how to utilize the body and incorporate the stretch of our hips into our practice as well as the core strengthening? So we're going to do just a little bit of a side pigeon, right, in this hanging pose to get the hips warmed up. And then if we wanted to do this while hanging completely, we would just let the knees pull out to the side as we try to lift our foot. And play for just a couple more minutes. Either one, the feet on the ground, rolling back and forth, or full body hang. Awesome, looking good, guys. Let's come on up. Woo! Take a little break. Again, shake out the hands. Frequent pauses will really help the body recover from all the hanging. So earlier today, we've been focusing on the neck and shoulder. So before going into more of our strength and stretch, we are going to go ahead and warm up the neck. One of the things that I like to do is use the hand holds one at a time. So let's start with our right side. Reach up, let your hand glide through and grab for a wrist wrap, and just see if you can just gently bend the knee and let your head hang to the side. So you don't have to really worry too much about alignment. You're just stretching on a diagonal. If you want a little bit more cue, I would turn my thumb up to the sky to externally rotate the shoulder. That's what we've been learning today, is how to work with the loops and the rotations so that we are getting into the spirals of the body and the way the energy moves in spirals. If you want to come more into a triangle pose and really focus on alignment, then we're going to tee the arms, drop the ear to shoulder. I'm lifting my chest, I'm lifting my chin, and then bending over to the side, creating a little bit of support if you need with your hand, being very gentle on the body. Come on up, take a breath, shake it out. Make sure that we switch it up. We'll go back and forth a few times, just so if anybody is brand new to this, they feel encouraged to stick with it and just take a break and come back in whenever your body needs. If you're more advanced and you've been practicing for a while, there's something for everybody here. You know how to make this more challenging. Usually all we need to do is lift our standing leg and come into a side tree and come into a deeper stretch with more of our body weight to make that harder. So the easier version is just as yummy. If you know how to do the advanced poses and you want to make it harder, please feel free to add those variations. We can bend the right knee and then straighten, and this changes the pose, this changes the angle. The external rotation is turning the thumb up towards the sky, and then I can rotate all the way from the shoulder joint through the neck and feel the spiral coming out through the crown as I bring my hand down, out in a T. If you want to support the head with your hand, that's welcomed. You can even give the neck a little stretch or help it pull or lengthen ear to shoulder. Just a little bit of space in the occipital ridge feels really good. I just got a wonderful neck adjustment. This can be your free chiropractic adjustment at the same time. What we're wanting to do is roll around and lubricate all of the connective tissue. I gave the analogy earlier. It's like pizza dough that's hard and very stiff at first. And then with a little bit of massage and manipulation, we are going to hydrate the tissue and get a little bit more fluidity through the joints, as well as lubrication into the muscles. And so they can breathe, they can move, they get more blood and oxygen flow. It's so wonderful to experience. Let's go for right side again. This time, play a little bit, experiment and feel. Bring more awareness into the right side. Does this side feel tighter than the other one? Our bodies are not always perfectly even. We have some asymmetries through a dominant arm or through a sport or through an activity. All the repetitive movement and motion in our lives, our habits, wind up creating this torque or this asymmetry and imbalance that can throw off the energy body, and we want to bring it back to center. This is why the swing works so well and is such an incredible healing tool. It stretches us evenly and gives us something to reference, to interface with, so that we can get a sense of our body in space and strengthen our proprioceptive skills. So let's go ahead and do one last time. Reach up for the left, play, roll around, try the spiraling, rotate the thumb towards the sky, see what that feels like. There is no wrong way. You can bend the knee or straighten the leg. Go ahead and roll the neck around even and see how that feels. Try supporting the head and see if you can do a little massage, self-massage on the neck. It feels so good to just give it a little extra hand, helping hand to open and soften. So we're going to do a lot of neck and shoulders today, but I'm going to keep it even and balanced and get back into the swing now and start with the sumo pose. Come on up when you're ready. Just take a moment to feel the difference, shake it out, move around, reset, and just even that little bit, can you feel how the posture changed, how the neck and shoulders changed? We're going to focus today on our pillar, which means this central pathway and column. I want you to practice what it's like to look up slightly. Look up to the top corner of the room and keep your tailbone and crown of the head communicating. This strong, long line of energy, this column of light, is the superhighway for the energy to flow, for the communication to all of the glands and organs and systems through the nervous system and through the central pathway of the spine. So the more that we can keep our spine happy and limber and lubricated and malleable, the more information can flow into the muscles and bones, and everything can function and work together with a lot more harmony. So that's going to be our focus. Our focus is on the spine and the interface to the nervous system through the energy pathways, and the central column happens to be where the chakra centers lay. If you're not familiar with the chakra centers, you can look that up, but they overlay the endocrine system. So isn't it fascinating that our chakras and our endocrine system communicate? So it's like the energy is stepped down through the astral plane, the subtle energy body, into the chakras, into the endocrine system, into the nervous system, into the superhighway of the spine. So they're all connected. We can't really work on one system without working on the whole thing. It's a whole systems biomodeling is my approach to regenerative therapeutics and healing the body. And part of that is just recognizing, let's get into our sumo squat as we chat some more. I'm going to give lots more information than I normally do. Inhale the arms up, exhale, hug the swing. If you haven't done our sumo squat before, you're going to push the swing down to the lower ribs. Lean back, come right into a forearm press, and then walk forward, heel toe, 10 and 2. So my tailbone is straight down at the center of the mat. The crown of the head is rising up, and I start to feel the swing pulling. So it's lifting my ribs, lifting my sternum, and at the same time, my hips are heavy and tractioning down, and this creates space in between the vertebrae, particularly for the torso. It should feel really, really good. If the swing rides up too much, which means it starts to pinch the underarms, you give it a little hop. We want to keep it below the tips of the shoulder blades. That's why I'm pushing my arms in, besides the fact that it strengthens the shoulders and opens up the chest. My arms are engaged and my hips are relaxed. So in every single pose, one part is engaged and the other part is relaxed, and they work together. We don't want the whole body to be tight, and we don't want the whole body to be loosey-goosey where we wind up like this. And a lot of people do this, which is fine. You just want to lean back, give it a little hop, come on out, whatever you need to do, get it towards the lower ribs to begin, and then it'll slide up, but we want to keep it at the bottom tip. Below the bottom tip of the shoulder blades is the sweet spot. It's kind of tracing the shape of the lats. That's another way of looking at it, which our lats are engaged here when we push our arms in, and that helps rearrange and reconfigure the positioning of the shoulder joint, and that's typically what helps relieve the tension in the top of the neck and shoulders. Okay, so from our sumo squat, let's just go ahead and rock and have a little chat here. I really want to share with you guys more of the bioenergetics, and when I say bioenergetics, I'm meaning the energetic field around the body and how the body interfaces with energy. The way that I see it is the body is like a radio. This is how my source, higher self, communicates to me and gives me this guidance. Everything I do is from this creative life force. And we all have access to the same amount of energy. We all have access to this life force. And usually the only reason why we don't feel energized or feel creative or feel healthy is because it's being pinched off. So if we see the life force flowing through us like a river, but that straw, that pillar, has some kinks in it, and the kinks usually happen here at the neck or here at the lower back, where the spine arches, and those kinks are blocking the energy flow, then even though the energy is there, we're not experiencing it, we're not receiving it. So I'd like for you to play with the concept of being a radio receiver, that our spine is the antenna, and the signal we're picking up is actually the signal from our higher self source, soul, mind, body, spirit connection. So life force energy is pulsing through all things, that grows the trees, that moves the ocean, that breathes us. And we're just tuning in to receive and open up to more of that free energy. And we can do this with our awareness, with our breath, and with our movement. And that's the real gift that I'm wanting to offer, and a real leading edge for me of integrating and blending all of my favorite parts of my quantum healing practice. So we're doing the empowerment practices, we're doing the quantum coaching, we're doing the sacred geometry and the physics of the body, and we're integrating that into the understanding of the energy body activations through the normal swing poses. So this is the AYP and AYRx Therapeutix combination, blended with the Suspended Somatics therapy and sacred geometrics. So it's a lot. And I want you to just receive what you're ready for. Just receive. Just open up to receive. Let's go ahead and press back and imagine our heart being the very center point and the receiver of all of this good energy, this good juju. We have a portal at the crown of the head, which connects to our chakras. We have a portal at our tailbone and our sit bones, which connects to the earth. But we have a portal at the center of our chest and our heart chakra. And let's just feel that today. Let's feel our heart blossoming and opening as we're supporting our head with our hands and just gently rocking from side to side, looking up towards the sky, letting our heart blossom towards the sun, leaning back and feeling the support. So most of what I do in the swing is this gentle rocking motion that I call swagger. We have lots of swag in the swing. And there's over 300 poses and sequences. There's so many different variations, but we're gonna keep it really simple this weekend. It's not about how many poses and variations we can do, it's about what we're feeling and experiencing in the swing. So just let that be the main focus. What does this feel like? The swing pressing in to that space behind the heart, massaging out the stickiness that lives in the back body, pushing the heart forward, that soul matrix, that core energetic apex point, letting it rise towards the sky, opening the heart, feeling that a little bit more today. Each day I'll give you another nugget or another place to focus. So today we're going to come into balance between the upper and lower bodies and keeping the energy centered in the heart while we are learning some of these poses. So yeah, just let that feel good. If the rocking is a little much, you can just stay in center and drop the hips and lift the hips and just come into a little bit of a sweet back bend and keep it pretty chill. Okay, so from here, what I want to do is actually heel toe my feet together. I'm going to go forward and rock forward into angel wings so we can come into a forward fold. So I bring my arms out to a T, I bend my knees, and I just start to push my hips forward. So I'm straightening my legs and then bending my knees and then just rocking forward and back. This is one of my favorite poses to do is angel wings. It's a good transition from being in the seated poses all the way forward, pushing the hips forward, bend the elbows, and come into a forward fold. So you're not coming all the way down into our normal traditional forward folds in yoga. We're walking our feet into a wide straddle, and we're letting the swing catch at our elbows. We're just going to gently rock from side to side. And it's not just a linear plane. We're doing semicircles by tracing the front edge of the mat if you have the circular mats with your gaze. Just let a forward fold feel good. Can you keep your pillar? Can you keep that alignment from the crown of the head to the tailbone with the apex point at the center of the heart all lined up? Feel your river of life, river of light. Feel the superhighway. Can you feel the communication between the tailbone and crown of the head? Can you feel your heart at the center apex point? And just let that be the focus for today. Just communicating with that pillar and keeping the energy balanced between those three centers. You'll notice that the hub between them is the neck, so we want to keep the bridge of the neck open, and we also want to keep the bridge between the heart and the tailbone open through the belly. So these two areas are where we're going to focus, is neck and belly today. So let's go ahead and just come back to center. Drop the left hand down in front of your gaze, and your right hand is going to stay relaxed and into a fist. So you're not engaging too much yet. We're just noticing that we can do a little resistance training by pulling down on the swing, and as we do that, keep the long axes of the spine and spin the spirals on axes. So you twist and look up towards the sky, and then exhale. Go ahead and just look back down. Inhale, pull forward, and then exhale, twist and ring out the spine. All the way from tailbone to crown of the head, communicating with one another. Take another big inhale, and exhale, twist. See if you can feel that. Feel the entire spine stacking and working together as you twist. The twist is what wrings out the tension, that resets the vertebrae. That's why we can get some really delicious and sweet adjustments when we do this. One more time, pulling down, strengthening through the arms, stacking the shoulders, and twisting. All right, now we're gonna release the right arm straight and just let it come around. Bring the hands in front of you. And now with the same gentle forward fold movement, still suspended, so we're not coming all the way down, just a flat back. Rock from side to side and feel this rhythm wave. So it's like your body is like an S, a snake, and it's moving from side to side, but also wiggling all around. So can you let that feel good with your arms being supported? They can just be hanging out in the swing a little bit higher if that's too much, or go ahead and bend a lot and stretch the back body, stretch the hamstrings, stretch into the calves even. And then we're going to come into second side, come back to center and take a breath here. Inhale, bring your left arm up and hook. Right hand in front of your gaze. So I'm stacking my shoulder over my wrist. And then I'm going to inhale, pull forward, exhale, twist, wringing out the spine. Remember to keep that long axis from tailbone to crown of the head and spin at the heart, pulling your fists down towards your chest to deepen the stretch. And inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist just a couple more times. You're doing great. Inhale, go ahead and lengthen. We're warming up here. Exhale, twist. Look up towards the sky and let the spiral and spin go all the way through the neck to the crown of the head. And then exhale, release, come on back down. Straighten the arms one more time. So now we're going to keep our chest lifted and our gaze up. And we're just going to do these tiny little pulses. So I am using my arms as much as possible. You can do this and just use your back and push your pelvis forward and back, which is fine. But see if you can isolate your arm strength and get your arms nice and strong. And very gentle, make sure the shoulders are happy. See if you can get that length through the entire spine by shifting from one foot to the other foot and then coming into a diagonal. You're pushing forward and down and getting a stretch to the whole side body. Yeah, you can even bend one knee and then the other knee and come into this pose and see if you can get into the intercostals, into the ribs. Nice and slow. Only go as far as it feels good for today. And then come back to center. Press, press, press. Come on up to stand. Okay, so we're starting to undulate the spine today. So we want to create this rhythm wave and this undulation where the inhale is rising and bringing the energy up, and the exhale is bringing the energy back down, connecting to this microcosmic orbit that's around the body. So we also play with the rhythm waves and infinity loops in the meditation practices, but today we're just going to go up the front and then exhale down the back and let the breathing reflect that. Inhale, lifting, and exhale, pouring down and grounding. So let's keep those two in balance as our focus today. Coming back through center, take a nice big inhale, letting the energy rise, and exhale. Hug the swing, come on in, slow it down, push it to the ribs, slower ribs, and then forearm press to create a hook here. Slide or hop, walk the feet to the front of the mat, and now we're going to get into our full suspension and incorporate the leg loops into our practice. So from our sumo squat, feet walk wide, 10 and 2, we're going to reach around. We always keep our hug, wrapping the arms outside in and grabbing for, let's go with the right leg loop first. Let's hold on with both hands and do 5 knee lifts, activating our core. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze. Pull down with your arms strongly at the same time. I know it's really intense here. Sometimes people will like to do that with one hand because it feels like a little much. I like the squeeze because it's strengthening and wringing out the pecs and the shoulder. One more. When we inhale, the knee is going to come out to the side, and then we lift our foot and get our foot in there. If that's a little much, use your hand. Same hand as foot. Lift. You can always lower the leg loops if you need to adjust the alignment, and make sure that you can get both legs in. So now we're going to do the same movement. We always hug the swing, reach around, grab for the bottom of the leg loop and pull it down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale and exhale, get the core activation. Imagine you're building a scaffolding around all the sides of the spine, the sides of the spine, the front of the spine, the back of the spine, keeping the spine and those little intrinsic muscles strong and happy to support the space that you're gaining through the hanging. Last one, inhale, lift. Bring the knee out to the side, grab for the foot if you need a little helping hand, and get the leg loop behind the back of the knee. Really good. Take a moment to lean back, stretch and slide up and down the spine a few times. We're going to use the fabric to interface between the skin and muscles and bones. It is fabric dependent. If your clothes are bunching up, that's pretty normal. You learn how to find clothes that are slippery and stretchy enough to let the swing slide up and down. You get used to it. If you don't have pants on, this can get a little uncomfortable under the knees. So if you're at home and can change outfits, go ahead and put some longer pants on that are a little bit slippery, and then the fabric will slide a little bit better. So whenever you need, you can give it a little hop, come on out, and then position the swing. Once again, I'll just keep repeating some of the important cues. Keep the swing below the tips of the shoulder blades, and usually your arms are much happier. You can keep pressing into the swing for the forearm press, or interlace your fingers strongly behind the back of the head and let yourself lean back. So our number one pose, our floating poses, is chillaxin. So just like it sounds, it's supposed to be fun, and we can just gently rock from side to side to start to open up the connective tissue. Most of the work that I do in the swing is about this changing planes and swaying. It's so good for our brain to change planes. It's so good for the nervous system. It resets the vagus nerve. The parasympathetic nervous system responds really well to when we cross planes like this. It's so good for our learning. It's also good for our eyesight. If you let your eyes go from one side to the other, it's really good for all of the nervous system reset functions and regulations. They also do a lot of this work with trauma response and PTSD. So when we get into the suspended somatics therapy, there's a lot of science that is supporting the way that the brain can reset by changing and crossing directions, changing planes, they call it. And it feels good. So we're opening up the energy lines through the legs, through the hips. All of this is getting stretched without any effort. We're simply utilizing momentum. So you can see, like swinging, when you swing one way, then you get the free energy to go the other way, and it really becomes effortless. Imagine being able to get everything you need from your workout, from your exercise, from your healing, from your therapeutics, just by playing. For me, that's the most important piece, is that we're playing our way into a healthy, happy body. So once we're here, we're going to come back to center, and I want us to do a little vinyasa flow of those undulation of the spine again. So what we're going to do is just go into a supported back bend first and slide up and down a few more times, and then we'll do some variations. So you don't have to go far. I'm going to hold on to the swing. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, lean my head back and drop into it. Inhale, lift, and exhale, drop. Take another breath. Do back and forth, and let the swing start to massage out the paraspinals, the QL, the space between the heart and the pelvis. You can even let it slide up a little bit more and dig into the back of the heart as you're pressing into the swing and letting it traction up and down the spine. During tractioning and fascia work, all the myofascial with the swing and releasing the tension in the muscles is some of my favorite work to do. Every time I push the hips up, I just simply lean back, and the swing gravity is abundant and doing a good job, so the swing will start to roll down my back. And just a couple more times, see if you can dig in. Where is it sticky and stuck? You know, there's a lot of tension in the neck and shoulders for people, so that's what our focus has been for today. We will do a few more neck stretches and work on that tension. But for now, just keep the awareness and the intention on our spine. Sliding down nice and slow, digging into the lower back and QL, letting the pressure feel good. And then when you're ready, come on back to sit. Very good. So whenever you need a break, if it feels like too much on your underarms or hanging by your upper back, you can reach for your knees, slide up, do a little bicep curl, and pull yourself up to stand. Now you can stay, these are called high skydiver legs. So stretching the leg loops up and tractioning along the inner thighs will also release the stagnation and congestion, working the fascia and the legs. But this Coming to stand position gives your upper body a break whenever you need. So come on out as often as you need, and then rejoin us, fluff back up. And then when your body feels ready, come on back here. The other position I like to give people as a pause is child's pose or floating child's. So with the leg loops at the knees, we can simply hug our arms around the swing and bow in. And this is a nice way to create a cooling pose or resting pose. And you can just rest your forehead on your hands. And it's just nice to curl in. So this is a good pause and resting pose. And then from here, we're going to get into our chillaxin flow. So we can just open our arms wide and inhale, and then exhale, roll back in a few times. Focus on undulating the spine, initiating from the heart. Inhaling and exhaling like a cat-cow, but while floating. Inhaling open and exhaling, rounding in. Really good. Let's do that a few more times. Inhale, blossom. We can even elongate the legs now, keeping the hips heavy. Star. Exhale, child's. Inhale, star pose. Big star. Stretch it out. Exhale, round in. So sometimes these gentle little undulations can be enough, especially if there's any sort of pain or injury. Take it nice and slow. Inhaling, star. Last time, exhale, child's. Feel free to hang out here and just bow in. So to continue with our chill flow, we go into star, and then our hands to prayer, namaste. We can squeeze the legs together. Our hands are strongly, firmly, thumbs touching the sternum. They don't slide down. We hook with our forearms to press the hips up and back. Great stretch for the neck and shoulders. Exhale, come on back to sit. Okay, let's try that again. Inhale, star. Exhale, namaste. My hands to prayer around the swing, legs together, long lines of energy, pressing up. Inhale, hold on to the swing, and exhale, slide down the back, traction down towards the hips. You can even give it a little hop. Inhale, bicep curl, come up, and then exhale, back down. So that's a little bit more of an extended and expanded version of what we were doing with tractioning up and down the spine. So let's just try that again. Inhale here, exhale, child's pose. Inhale, star. Exhale, namaste. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, lean back. Inhale, hold on to the swing. And exhale, slide in. So the full pose is called ladle, where we can bring our arms overhead and let the energy pour out the front of the spine. So coming into a bigger back bend inversion. This might feel like a little much, so you can just stay holding on to the swing and go back for as far as it feels good. If that feels comfortable, bend the knees and swim your arms around. You don't need to hold on to the feet, but you can reach in that direction for a bow pose, keeping the heart leading the way. Opening up the heart, arching from the upper thoracic spine. Lower back should be happy. And if the feet are available, go ahead and grab and pull the ankles away. Blossoming with the heart a little bit more. Release. Take a nice deep breath. Inhale, lift, and exhale, lower your hips. So whenever we are doing our undulations and breathing into this rhythm wave of inhaling up the front of the spine and exhaling down the back, we're going to massively boost the energy flow. So this big back bend inversion is opening up all of the energy centers, all of the chakras. And these overlay our endocrine system and are the energy managers of the body. So when we want to tap into our healing potential, we have to increase the energy flow to these energy centers and to the organs and glands that are responsible for the vital energy that controls our sleep, our mood, our attitude, everything. So these poses, even though they're traditionally in yoga, when we're doing them in the swing with support, Very different, very powerful. So if you get woozy or dizzy, it's because your body is having like a massive rearrangement, detoxing and wringing out this energy that's been stuck to repurpose it. So that's a good thing, but you have to take it nice and slow. You can pull yourself back up and come to ground and just give yourself a little time to integrate here. We're going to do one more round of that and just feel the potency and the power of the simple translation of a chill flow, chill vinyasa flow. So basically it's like we're rounding in and opening up, and then rounding in again and opening up. And you can always stay in a child's pose in order to bring the energy back down. And it's a nice cooling restorative pose. All the back bends and inversions are going to be activating and yang. They're going to turn on the energy body, turn on the energy centers, and boost the energy field. And so they can be very warming. If you want a cooling pose, you can counterbalance with a forward fold or a floating child's. Okay, slide back in when you're ready, or stay there and watch for a round. So usually I do 5 rounds of this. We're just going to do 2, which is enough for today. And then I'm going to do the same cat-cow undulation in our down dog sequence and revisit that as well. Okay, so we're just going to inhale, tee the arms, and exhale, child's pose, squeeze in. Then we're going to inhale, arch and open. If you want to come back, just exhale, child's pose, squeeze in, stay there. If you want to continue on to a big back bend, come into namaste. Press the hips up, lean back. Come in through ladle. Hold on to the swing. Slide it down across the hips. You can bend the knees and reach your arms around for bow. See if you can take a few deep breaths, opening up the front of the spine, really feeling the heart blossom, the big rainbow arch through the front of the spine. You don't need to hold on. You can release and hold on to the swing or keep the legs straight. Lots of variations. Inhale, bicep curl. Pull yourself back up. And take a moment to reset, acclimate. That first feeling of being lightheaded or woozy, I call it the first free high, is this natural rebalancing of the body. We're getting more blood and oxygen to our brains. We're reversing circulation. It's so good for our lymph, for our blood. All of the different functionalities of the body as getting a chance to reset. So it's a very, very powerful practice. Okay, let's go ahead and come through one round of our butterfly. If you want to stay here in child's pose, just counterbalance and close. Our bodies are normally rounded in from so much sitting in computer and driving, so we need to balance that with arching and opening. So we're going to hold on to the top of the leg loops, pull ourselves up, come into a little bit of a wide straddle, and then go ahead and bring the hands in front. So going a little slower, we bicep curl lift, get your hands in front of the leg loops, lean forward. So now we're doing the same thing where we're opening up the chest. We're leading with the heart today, and then we can bend the knees, feet together, bend the elbows, and slide into our butterfly. Really gentle. Make sure the shoulders are happy here. We've been working on shoulders all day, so they should feel really open, strong and open. So we're opening up the 2 major hubs of the body here. We're opening up the hips and we're opening up the chest. And it's a big stretch. So of course you can do this with a couple different variations. Let's try those out. If it's way too much on the body, on the legs, you can spread out the leg loops. Anytime you spread it out, you're distributing the weight over a larger surface area, and then it'll be less pressure on the tender parts of the knees where we're hitting the lymph. So the legs will get used to it, but yes, that tenderness is very common and very natural. Bend the knees, bring the feet together, and then you can come down just a little bit. Just come down a little bit. You don't have to come down far. You can come all the way into the same elbow hang and get a deeper stretch if you wish. But when you bring your body up, you actually get more of an openness through the chest. But see which one you like. This is the variety pack. When you're ready to come out, you pull your feet down towards the earth. Go ahead and lift with your arms and press yourself back up. Doing that as gracefully as possible. And then let the leg loops rise and wrap around the upper thigh. So from here, let's go ahead and come into some neck stretches that I promised. So I call this training wheels. So we're going to keep the leg loops nice and high to support our hips, and then release the swing from underneath the arms, which probably feels like sweet relief. And that was a lot of squeezing there. And then what we're going to do is use the swing behind the back of the neck. So I like to unfurl it, make sure it's not tangled, and then hold on about halfway up and support the neck with your arms. So I stay holding on. Some people like to drop the arms, but I feel like it's unstable for the neck to do that. If it's not too much, you can lift your feet and drop your hips to deepen the stretch. If it does feel like too much, just keep your feet on the ground and gently rock from side to side. You can do this grounded, or you could do this floating. Find your sweet spot and your favorite position so we can hang out for 5 minutes here. We're going to take our time working the connective tissue. So one of the basic movements is a nod, where we lift the chin and tuck the chin, and we start to feel the swing tractioning gently over the cervical spine. We don't want to put too much pressure on the neck, just right. We want to feel like it's relief instead of any sort of pain. It will be sensational, but it doesn't have to be painful. You can do it in a very gentle and light way. If you go too deep or too fast, it'll just contract against the pressure. And most people are forcing when they're stretching, and then their body is just contracting, which is the opposite of what we're going for. We want to create softness and openness and length. So see if you can also practice not just nodding, but turning your head from side to side, pushing and pulling with your hands to traction the fabric against the skin as you're twisting. If that feels good, play with one side and then the other, and go back and forth a few times. Once you've explored, you can practice nodding and twisting at the same time. So it's like your head is rolling around, yes and no and maybe, and just feeling, where does your neck need relief? Where does it want to be massaged or stretched? Where does that tractioning feel the best in your body? So much tension is held in our neck and shoulders and in our jaw, so you can even let the swing slide up over the jawline a little and get into the cheeks. See what feels good for you. Again, come up and take a little break. If it becomes too much, we're just going to do one more round before coming into some forward folds. And we're going to do our forward folds a little different today. We did them yesterday with the swing across the hips, and today we're going to do them with the leg loops on as well. So I'm giving you a whole variety pack with all the different variations of how to use the swing in both the workshops and trainings. So we're mixing it up. We're actually listening to the body and seeing what it needs. So when the body feels done, then come on up. If it feels like you are digging into some really yummy spots and getting some deep relief, stay with it. Listen and feel. That's the awareness we're bringing into our practice. Not just exercise, not just stretch, not just strength. We're feeling and responding and giving the body time to unfurl and releasing the buildup of tension that happens in these major hubs. Great. So pull yourself back up. Now come to stand. Just let yourself rest for a second. Actually bring the swing in front of you so it's like out of the way. And just, oh, it feels very different. Every time I do this, I get amazing, amazing relief and softness and length, and my neck just feels so expanded. So we want to gently dig in as well as stretch and lengthen the connective tissue while squeezing and wringing out the muscles. So I hope you enjoyed that. That's one of my favorites. We did it earlier today, and I thought, let's go ahead and continue with that neck and shoulder theme. And we all have the swing in front of us now. We're going to come into some forward folds and try that again, but keep the leg loops on. So when we push the swing down with straight arms, it's going to hit the top of the legs, so we can actually float for a second here. We want to keep our pillar, right? So it's so easy to start looking down and to lose that incredible length and space that we've gained. So keep the tailbone and the crown of the head in a straight line, even when we lean forward. Make sure that we're leading from our heart and working with that central pathway. So straighten the arms, keep your gaze up, lean forward, bend at the hip flexors, and then come on down. Your hands can come down to the ground, and if all goes well, your feet will start to float. So we're coming into an L shape with the body. So crown of the head pointing down, feet hip distance, floating above the earth, couple feet above the earth. And from here, we're triple hooked at our hip flexors, and it can be a little intense, especially if there's any sort of congestion going on there. We're wringing out the lymph. We're putting pressure on that intersection. It is one of the most congested and tight parts of the body are the hips and hip flexors, and so we're tractioning the spine out of the pelvis to create space for the vertebrae, spreading the sacrum, letting the upper body completely relax, and your arms can just be on the ground, your forearms relaxed on the ground. Just take a moment to let the magic of this pose do what it does, which is reversing gravity and getting some relief and space in the spine. You'll notice that we're getting more blood and oxygen flow to our brains than we're used to. This is very, very good. We're gonna get longer and taller and smarter and funnier. So let's go ahead and come with our hands in a plank position. And we're gonna come back and forth into some of our poses, as well as blending in the energetic work with the alignment. So from our plank pose, we're just pulling forward and back, really simple, playing a little bit in the space, rocking forward and back, and then we're gonna bend our knees and hook on the outside, and this is called an up dog to an upside down dog, and again, we're arching and stretching our belly, and then we're exhaling and we're diving in, crown of the head towards the floor for an upside down dog. Right? And so if we wanted to inhale, arch here, then we can exhale and tuck and pull our navel in towards our spine and do a few undulations, cat-cows like this. Inhale, arch, and then exhale, tuck, rounding the spine, coming into a version of handstand. Inhale, arch, and exhale, tuck, engaging our core, stacking our hips towards our head. Inhale, arch one more time, and exhale, tuck. Very good, very, very good. Okay, so go ahead and relax down onto your elbows. Let your feet go. You can keep your knees bent if that feels good. There's many variations, so go ahead and just try coming into a version that feels good for you. Bent knees or straight legs. And just take a pause here. Take a few moments to just breathe. Breathe and be relaxed. Relaxed in the space, relaxed in the body. We have about another half hour of active, and then we're going to drop in to a long, sweet meditation experience in Shavasana. So stick with it just a little bit longer, slowing it down. Beautiful. Come on back onto your hands, and we're just going to play with doing a little bicycle movement. Now this is going to be intense, digging in to your hip flexors, but I promise you it's on purpose, just like we were hanging by the back of our chest, the back of our arms, and that was intense for the lymph there. It's hitting the intersection, and we are wringing out the tension that lives in the intersection between the legs and the hips. So doing this gentle bicycle movement up and down helps to massage that out. Then we're going to come up, go ahead and take a little break, push forward into angel wings, and just let yourself hang out here. The swing can ride up onto the belly a little bit for support, and just let yourself rock from side to side. We're going to go into that one more time. I'm just going to let you know if for any reason that's too uncomfortable to be here, you can just stay up here instead of coming back down again. And just play. See what it's like to come into a little bit of a twist from side to side. But we're going to do this on the ground too. And then we're going to go ahead and drop into some of our one-legged down dog sequences. So you can just feel the undulation of the spine. So we're going to do a few rounds of lifting and then exhaling, dropping in. Inhale, lift, and exhale, drop in again. Really good. Inhaling, lift, and exhale, drop. Let yourself float. We're also massaging out the organs in the belly with the swing when we let it ride up a little bit higher. So that digging in is on purpose. Inhale, arch and lift. And exhale, undulate back down and round. Come on in. As soon as you lift your legs up, the swing can slide back down to your hip flexors. Maybe you can get it into the sweet spot or a place where it feels a little bit better. Go ahead and try undulating the body from side to side, coming into a little bit of an S shape or arch and rainbow. And just let that feel good to play. Resetting the spine. So then we're going to come back to our floating plank and bring one foot down and the other foot up. And then we're going to exhale, squeeze into the nose, inhale, arch. Picture the same movement in the spine of rounding in and then pumping the energy all the way up to the crown of the head. Squeeze, bring the energy back down. Inhale, let the energy rise with your breath. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, lift. Exhale, shoot the energy back down towards your toes. Inhale, rise, energy to the crown of the head, and exhale, squeeze. So that microcosmic orbit of inhaling and arching, pulling the energy up, and then exhale, rounding in, is our focus today for the spine. Bring both feet down. Go ahead and wag your tail a little bit. Go ahead and come into the harmonic wave, the snake movement from side to side, the rhythm wave, not just front and back, but side to side as well. And then ground your left foot, inhale, right leg lifts, and exhale, squeeze knee to nose. Inhale, the energy rises to the crown, and exhale, rounds it in. Squeeze it back down towards your toes. Inhale, pull the energy up. And exhale, round it back in. A few more like that. Inhale, lift. And exhale. Squeeze. Inhaling, lift. And exhale, pull it in. Very good. Float one more time. Let yourself rest here and just feel the building of the energy and charge through your entire torso, through your spine. Nice deep breaths. If you're comfortable going into a version of headstand, go ahead and bend your knees. Let the crown of the head touch down or just take on the shape. You can be completely floating or the crown can be activated and touching the earth. Take 5 deep breaths here. Nice and slow. Let it feel good to hang. So this tractioning of our spine out of the pelvis to create space for the vertebrae is sweet relief for the discs, letting them hydrate and fluff back up like pumping up a tire. They're getting new blood and oxygen to the underbelly side. And it feels so good to pump them back up, fluff them back up, like every cell is plumping up like a little grape. And then release your hands to the front of the mat. Go ahead and place your feet down towards the center if you can reach. And one more time, coming up, undulating. Go ahead and let the swing slide up a little bit higher onto the belly. Let's do a few more of the inhaling, the energy rising, and then exhaling, diving in. Curling in at the navel. Inhale, arch and rise. Very good, and exhale, lots of breath. Wring it out, wring out the organs, wring out the digestive tract. Inhale, lift. You can even let it roll a little bit more towards the solar plexus if that feels good. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bow in. Pull the navel towards the back of the spine. One more time. Inhale, lift. Go ahead and stay up here and lean back. Whew. Really good. See if you can feel the difference. Feel the difference from when we started. It's always good to do a little inventory and check in. What has changed? What is rearranged? Maybe you have a lot more heat and flow in the body. Maybe you're feeling very calm and relaxed, even though you're energized, which is also so surprising for people. Maybe you're feeling incredibly grounded, like a different relationship to gravity just happened. Whatever it is, it's perfect. Go ahead and put the swing behind your back. We're just about 10 minutes. 10 more minutes of playtime, and then we'll get into deep rest, okay? So swing goes underneath the arms. We're going to go ahead and slide down. Let the leg loops transition to the back of the knees. Chillaxing one more time. Getting into our swagger. Let's do a little cool down lap now. So now that we go from upside down, the inversion to the upright position, the body rearranges itself. It's acclimating. So we're going to give it some time to receive the goodness and the benefits of that reversing of the systems. So we did this yesterday, but I love coming into the seated pigeon. I do this every single day. Get the right foot on top of the left thigh behind the leg loop and just hang for a second. See if you can practice undulating the spine here by straightening the leg and then exhaling, bowing in. Inhale, arch and lift. Exhale, drop in and curl in towards center. Big stretch through the IT band. Inhale, lift, and exhale, lower. Really push the hips down there. Inhale, lift. Last time, exhale, round it and squeeze like your forehead is coming towards your knee. And then we're going to inhale, lift that leg. Use your momentum, go right into second side. And feel the difference, how the undulations when they're operating and initiating from the back of the heart feel really different. So even here, you could do the undulation where you inhale and arch, and then exhale and just round in slightly. If you want to try it with the straight leg, I like the extension. Inhale, arch, exhale, round in. Squeeze your navel all the way back. Inhale, lift the heart. Good. Exhale, squeeze. That's it. Bring the breath out. Inhaling, lift. Exhale, press, press, press. Press the navel towards the back of the spine. And last one, inhale, lift. Bring that leg out. Go back into a gentle swagger position. And let the arms also explore in space. So since we did so much upper body today, I'm going to go ahead and wring out the legs and show you what I do to get the fascia moving. So a lot of the back pain that people are experiencing has a lot to do with the tension that lives in the legs and the congestion within the energy lines. And so we're going to come into some lunges, and I like utilizing the leg loops to slide up and down. Like I showed you before, if that's uncomfortable, you can spread it out from the knee all the way up to the top of the thigh, and you can try it like that. So your lunges can just be like this and be really gentle, and you can go from side to side. Whatever variation you choose, listen to your body and it'll tell you what it wants and what it needs. So pay attention to that. You know, don't go too far too fast, or else tomorrow will be very uncomfortable. Nice and slow. We have 4 days of practice together. Okay, so for those that want to stay with the leg loops at the knees bunched up, we're going to slide up and down the thighs. So it looks like this. Inhale, reach for the top of the leg loop, the snub. It helps to pull us up, bicep curl, and then I'm pulling my foot down towards the ground and letting the leg loop wring out the whole, wrapping around the whole column or the cylindrical shape of the leg. So foam rolling is really great, but it only hits like a certain point because it's not wrapping around. So we're just playing today. We're playing with understanding how we can use the swing to dig in and work with not only the energy body, but interface with the living matrix of the fascia, of the communication between the skin and muscles and bones. This helps free up the energy lines. We're going up and down the meridians with the swing, and we're also hitting some of those neuromuscular points, as well as draining the lymphatic system, which is so important. So roll around, play with it. So I'm going up the inner thigh onto the top of the quad and digging into any places that feel particularly tight, like the center of the muscle. And then I'm wrapping around the back. And when I wrap around the back, down the hamstring, I can also get into the IT band. So just play for a few minutes. This is your free time, your free flow time. Play with, see if you can hit all the lines, the front, the back, and the sides. The inner and the outer. The inner lines seem to be the easiest, right, to get into, and the most congested, at least for me. And then the back, I go down the back to follow the same pathway of up the front, inhaling up the front, and then exhaling down the back. So that's usually the energy flow patterns for the yin and yang lines, for those that are familiar more with the Chinese medicine approach. So I love going up the inner and front. Inhale, stay connected to your breath, and then exhale down the back, down the meridians of the gallbladder and the bladder lines, and those ones that are incredibly tight. We get a lot of tightness along the outer lines, and then the sensitivity along the inner lines, the liver, the spleen, and even the stomach is on the outer line of the quad. So just a few more rounds. I know it's a lot, it's intense, but I promise you, your legs are gonna feel amazing when we're done. Don't forget the quads. The quads can be a little challenging and tricky to get into, but so, so important. Make sure you're twisting and playing. You can just hang out in the lunges. And like I said, the fabric can be spread out and you can kind of skip the fascia work. But if you like getting into the quads, there are a few different ways to really dig in and let the swing do some good body work on you and self-massage, even though it feels like roughing, it's still really good on the body. So take your time digging in. One more round. If you did the quads on one side, go ahead and do it on the other. Grab for the foot, expand and stretch. This is coming into our dancing Shiva pose for those that are doing the training. It's good to know the names. But we're working the fascia. Very different than how I normally teach the aerial yoga plate training. We have a lot of intentionality on the systems, functions, and organs, as well as the energy alignment and energy body. So very good. Let's all come out and take a little break, okay? Have a little sip of water. Bring the feet down one at a time. Know how to come in and out of chillaxin safely. Never come to stand with the leg loops on. Hold on, and then just go ahead and back it up. So now feel the difference from when we started today. And just take note. If we notice and bring awareness into the body, especially when we get out of the swing, then we have more incentive to be like, oh my God, even though that was intense in the moment, I feel amazing. You can feel everything is wrung out. We worked the neck and shoulders, we opened up the chest, we went up and down the spine, we did tons of breath and undulations, and then we ended with digging into the fascia and connective tissue of the legs. Now it's time to relax. We made it. We made it to the good part. So, final relaxation. It's going to be about 20 minutes. And you can do all of your stretches that you do on the floor in the swing. But I'm going to encourage you, if you feel done for today, just hop in, drop in. You don't even have to listen to the guidance. I'm going to offer some of the core activation meditation techniques that I do while we're in final relaxation. But if you feel like just bringing it down and going inward, this is when we gain all the benefits of the pose. It's like we're shutting down our computer and rebooting it and resetting it. And while we're doing that, you're getting a nice software upgrade. So this is how the body heals, by doing all of this beautiful movement, all of this activation, and then dropping in to the cocoon, like the caterpillar. All the cells are going to be rearranged. Everything is being reset. And the body is massively releasing and detoxing and repurposing this energy. This energy is being freed up, and now it can be used to restore, to regenerate, and to repair. So it's really so important to cherish the full experience of the cocooning and know that it is incredible for the body. I really can't even give it enough props, and it's so fun to do together. So the swing spreads out, you're gonna hop in, stretch it out to the knees, make sure you have enough material that you can sink back and rest back into it. Your head is always supported in the swing, and then you have a few options. If you wanna just drop right in, you can put the leg loops on and get into cocoon with the extended legs, or we're gonna go through and try the Viparita first. So I'm gonna kick up, bend my knees, bring them into a butterfly position. My arms are gonna mimic and match with my elbows bent and my hands dangling out the back. And I'm just gonna let the body start to drop in. See if you can wiggle your hips around a little and let your pelvis sink. Most of the time our body is in a locked position and we don't even realize how tight we're holding our hips, our neck, our shoulders, our back. So start to soften. Feel what it's like to have the swing hold you and hug you while you're suspended. It's so fantastic. It's so yummy and delicious. And then from there, if you want to try extending the legs, you can bring the legs up the sides of the swing in a V shape, like Viparita, up a wall. And we're going to drain the energy out of the legs. So we're giving the legs a chance to release And I like to gently rock my hips from side to side, pushing one sit bone down and then the other sit bone down. And I'm just lengthening through the inner line of the leg while I push the opposite hip down. Feel if the body is in alignment. Feel if it's balanced. See what it's like to spin the toes in and the heels out and alternate, doing little windshield wiper movements with the feet. Can you feel where the leg inserts into the pelvis? This is a major hub where people have a lot of tension, and we can just gently rock and sway and pulse and let that tension unwind. Let there be spiraling energy moving through the legs into the pelvis, releasing and draining that tension out of the lower body. And let that energy continue to spiral up the spine, into the belly, into the heart, into the collarbones, and down the arms, into the neck and head, so the whole body feels connected. Can you feel your pillar and the superhighway clean and clear? Can you feel the tailbone and crown of the head communicating? And can you feel your heart at the center point? If it feels good, put your hands on your heart, palms down, and connect to the center of your chest. Just take a moment to soften the mind, soften the eyes, soften the forehead, soften the ears, soften your belly. All those delicious back bends and arching and opening. Now we're going to round in. We're letting our body round. We're not losing that spaciousness. We are coming into a cooling and restorative pose when we round in to harness the energy in our core. So feel like all of the energy is returning to your heart, returning to your navel, returning to your ribs, returning to your lungs. Soften your knees. They can bend a little bit now. You can always let them be straight and utilize the leg loops if you want them extended. But we are imagining ourselves curling up into a ball and getting back into our seedling. Coming back into this fetal position, like being in the womb, where the body develops, where all the cells communicate, where all the stem cells regenerate and produce all of the different energies that we need for healthy functioning organs, all the repair of the tissue, the joints, the bones, letting the muscles be like sponges receiving the new blood and oxygen flow. Feel the connection to the front of the spine, the back of the spine, the sides of the body, all one system, one function. And let it feel good to relax everything. Relax your hair, relax your face, relax your fingertips and toes. Let the swing hug you and hold you, like going back into the womb of the Divine Mother, the womb of the universe. All of the energy is now freed up. It can be channeled and rearranged and rebalanced in the perfect way that the body intelligence knows how and what to do when the field is open, when the energy lines are open, when the soft tissue is flowing like a river of light. The entire body is being bathed in this effervescence, light love essence. The life force that pulses through all things is breathing you, pumping your blood, circulating oxygen. Just like the ocean breathes, you breathe with the pulsation of sunlight. The way the trees grow, the way the wind blows, the way the birds sing. It's all one energy, one life force with different forms, with different phases of consciousness, with different levels of awareness. Let the swing be that for you, your vehicle for transformation. Your ability to reference and interface with your body in a new way as it gives you that feedback of gravity, of harmony, of alignment. Feel the entire body covered with this warm, glowing, healing nectar. Like you're filling up a bathtub, you're filling up every cell. Every cell is plumping up and receiving the signal, the pure source signal of vital life force returning to the places that have been parched, sticky, and stuck. The body has everything it needs, knows what to do. It's connected to this intelligence, to this creative genius, to the flow. And we're just getting out of the way, observing and watching and listening and feeling. Notice if any parts or pieces need an extra healing balm. Put a glowing ball of energy, of healing balm around the head, around the heart, around the belly, around the knees, around the shoulders, around the hips, around the ankles, all the joints, all the ball and socket joints can now be surrounded by a ball of healing light. And go ahead and imagine that this ball of healing light, this golden bubble, is around every cell. The trillions and trillions of cells in the body each have its own golden bubble, ball of light, healing light flowing to it. They're all being sourced, resourced, recalibrated, restored to its optimal levels of function, optimal health, optimal aging, optimal rejuvenation, optimal regeneration. The more you relax, the more the energy flows. Feel that connection, your body and space, the energy around you and inside you, moving through you, exchanging with every breath, breathing in the energy that's in the air, that's invisible, that's infused with the mana and prana. And breathe it out. We're in constant communication and exchange with everything on this planet. All the life force, all the life forms, all the trees are exchanging with us, all the messages and signals in the airwaves. We are an antenna. We are a radio receiving and broadcasting. And that signal is coming from our higher self source, the creator of all that is, the life force that pulses through all things. And we tune to the qualities and aspects we want to experience. More joy, more peace, more quiet, more calm, whatever it is. Call it in. Seal it into your heart space. Feel the quality of it. Feel what peace is like in your body, in your mind, in your heart. Feel joy pulsing through your veins and lighting up every cell with levity and laughter. Feel the inner heart, the inner smile come back online as you feel that joy, and feel the deep rest of calm, care. What does calm feel like in your body? Soothing, nourishing, relaxing, cooling. And just take 5 more minutes to yourself, feeling and asking for anything that you need. Feel the quality of it, the energetic tone of it, the frequency of it. Feel it washing over you, informing every cell. Feel the essence of who you are, returning in this practice. So simple and sweet and deep, all at the same time. Pax, why don't you let yourself stay here for as long as you like today? Sometimes when we finally relax, when we finally drop in, the body doesn't want to track. It doesn't want any limitations. It doesn't want the distraction of when we're going to be done. So I'm just going to let you sink in and stay here for as long as you like. For as long as it feels good, for as long as you can. And send a huge wave of love and gratitude over your entire body, your entire being, for showing up, for breathing together, for practicing, for playing, for exploring. And I'll see you back here tomorrow. We have 3 more wonderful, glorious days. You can join us for the training, the full 4 hours. You can join us for a workshop, 2 hours, whatever you wish. And it's all available to you forever, unlimited replay. I thank you. Source thanks you. We thank you for showing up, for your willingness. The energy that you're bringing to the practice is so valuable to you, so valuable to me, so valuable to the we. Enjoy a sweet, deep moment of final relaxation. Namaste.